Now today I'm going to talk to you another end time prophecies, and it is also begin to revealing in front of our eyes. And we talk about the third temple. And what does it mean when we talk about the third temple? In 2020, the 5 red and unblemished-free heifers or unblemished heifers were imported to Israel from Texas. Is it important? What is it important about that? Who cares if you bring some elephant to a certain country, or you bring some of the panda from China to other country, or you bring any kind of animals from other country? Maybe the world will say, okay, I know it. But what is it important about the red heifer, and especially the uncleansed one? That is the first appearance of the red heifers in Israel for almost 2,000 years, when the Jerusalem temple, or the second temple, was destroyed the second time in AD 70. At that time, the red heifer also began to disappear, because the nation was no longer in the state anymore, or in existence anymore. Even though there would be another in 150, as we know that they have another revolt. But basically, the country of Israel, or the state of Israel, was non-existent since then. And now, after almost 2,000 years, suddenly the red heifer, unblemished one, or blemish-free heifer, appear once again. But maybe some people just pay attention to that and said, okay, what is next? What else? And suddenly on July 11, 2025, a sample ceremony of the burning ceremony was held at location in Samaria in coordination with Blvd Israel and overseen by rabbis from the Temple Institute. Now, pay attention. This is a sample ceremony. But even this is a sample ceremony, or we call a practice, a lot of international community begin to criticize about this one. Why the international community was so worried about this ceremony? If it is done in Temple Mount, there will be a lot of great issue will be happen. But even though it was just a practice, the purpose was not the ritual fulfillment yet, but rather a rehearsal of the ceremony itself, using an invaded heifer to demonstrate procedure. Now, when you begin to prepare and you begin to practice, what is it for? You have your purpose, isn't it? When you practice for war, what does that mean? There might be an imminent war is ahead of us, right? There will be something is about to happen, and they do the ritual practice here. And this was just a practice and prepare for the coming real to happen at any time at the Temple Mount. And this is what the Arab nation is concerned. They have a great concern about this one. If this is done on the Temple Mount, something is going to happen. Meaning to say, the third temple is going to be rebuilt very soon. When is it going to be conducted? This ceremony, we don't know yet. But we know that the preparation is ready. The rehearsal is already. And when will be the real one? I remember that many years ago, when we have the concert, Ron Kennedy or some of other people, it was back then in the Philippines. And then they recruit a very, very big choir. And I was not a very good singer, but I also want to be part of it. I want to pray and bless for the event, so I also joined the choir. And it took us months to practice, and I'm still at loss. I could not follow. However, there are hundreds of people, so I don't have to worry. But the practice is for a real event. It is going to happen. And when the event happened, it was grander. It was so big. It was so large, and everybody was so happy about this one. This we could put in mind about this rehearsal of this ceremony. This is the re-emergence of the ancient ceremony that had been lost for almost 2,000 years since the second temple was destroyed in 70 AD. Now, in the history, there were only 9 blemish-free heifer, or we call unblemished heifer, have been offered, have been sacrificed. And we will talk about the extreme importance of the red heifer. Why is it? Number 19 will describe to us the ordinance of the red heifer. And its ashes must be the ashes of the unblemished, without any defect, heifer. And the ashes are mixed with water, and its ashes are used to purify those who are ritually impure due to the contact with the dead or any sin. So number 19 verse 1 said, the Lord said to Moses and Aaron, this is a requirement of the Lord that the Lord has commanded. Tell the Israelites to bring you a red heifer without defect or blemish, and that has never been under a yoke. Give it to Eleazar the priest. It is to be taken outside the camp and slaughtered in his presence. Then Eleazar the priest is to take some of its blood on his finger and sprinkle it 7 times toward the front of the tent of meeting. While he watches, the heifer is to be burned, its hide, flesh, blood, and intestine. The priest is to take some cedar wood, hyssop, and scarlet wool, and throw them onto the burning heifer. After that, the priest must wash his clothes and bathe himself with water. He may then come into the camp, but he will be ceremonially unclean till the evening. The man who burns this must also wash his clothes and bathe with water, and he too will be unclean till evening. Everything is unclean until what happened? When they use the ash as a ritual in order to clean the priest and the temple and the side of the temple before the burnt offering or any ceremony to be done. And if this is not done properly, everything would be impure and people will not be forgiven. So we will talk about the importance of this ceremony, and especially if the red heifer has just a little bit of mistake, then it will be disqualified. I will explain a little bit. You can see here, the selection of those red heifers are in line with the strict requirements that the red heifer must be completely red. It must be a female cow. It never bred or yoked, never worked. It must be without blemish, no injuries, no illness or physical defect. It should not have more than a certain number of hairs of a different colors. If they have more than 2 hair in gray, in black, it will be disqualified. You can see that the high standard applied, and it must be at least 3 years old. In this world today, could you imagine, in order to raise up such a heifer, it took very, very a lot of pain in order to raise up such a very unblemished heifer. And those events with others will bring the alarm about another ancient prophecy is to be fulfilled. That is the rebuilding of the third temple. So the appearance of the red heifer, together with the high priest, the ordinance of the appointment of the high priest, and when all of the vessels have been prepared, and the rehearsal of the ceremony will tell us, you and I, the restoration and the operation of the third temple might not take a long time. It will not be far from now that we are going to see the third temple to be revealed. And those events sound the alarm that the second coming of the Lord Jesus is not far away. And this is the most important thing in Christian eschatology.